Hello, Agus Fáilte go GAANOW, wherever you are watching around the world. It's that time of year again, and we're back at the RDS in Ballsbridge in Dublin for the 2024 PwC GAA GPA All-Stars. Tonight, the best in the country will be honoured as the football and hurling teams of the year are presented with their awards. And also, the footballer and hurler of the year will be announced. There's always such a buzz around the All-Star Awards night. We're delighted to be with you across the GAA social media channels to build up to the main show, which kicks off at 7:30. We'll be hearing from players a little later, but also joining me for the evening is former Galway captain Michael Meehan. Michael, brilliant to have you here this evening, but let's just get one thing out of the way first. Have you recovered from Galway's loss to Armagh in the final?
Oh, sure, yeah, it was one of those ones, wasn't it? We feel down on Galway that was one that was left behind, absolutely 100%. But you know, all credit to Armagh. I think there was just something about them as we spoke off air, from that roar when they came onto the pitch, and then when the parade started. You know, they had the energy from the crowd, so I think they felt their writing was on the wall in their favour.
And absolutely deserving winners. But let's talk about those Galway winners tonight and their All-Stars tonight. Like, what a great way for them to end the inter-county season on a high.
It is. And just driving up today, you know, you're thinking if someone is coming here, they've had a pretty good season, you know, and that's really special for the individual, whether they won or they lost. But there's something that coming home today, and it's going into their home, you know, right into their home, where their nearest and dearest are going to get to see it and get to feel it. And you know, there's something special about that, as just a little vote of confidence for all the effort and blood, sweat and tears that goes on, and we're partial to some of it, but the families and the nearest and dearest know exactly what they go through physically and mentally, so it is a very special occasion for them tonight.
And look, at all year it's about the team and the collective, but how great is it and how nice is it to be selected as one of the best in the country?
Yeah, it's massive. You know, it really is. It's extra special if you have your Sam Maguire, your Lee McCarthy in your back medal in your back pocket. But that's not the case. It never is. It's just an occasion, kind of following on a little bit from the trials in Croke Park a couple of weeks ago, where players get to cross boundaries a little bit and get to know one another as well in a not as serious setting. So that's a special occasion too, I think, for them tonight.
And one final question for me: have you brought your dancing shoes?
I have, yeah, brand new.
And you wouldn't let me down. Okay, more from Michael in a little bit, but also joining us for the evening and out about on the red carpet, and I hope she has her dancing shoes with her too, is our reporter Maura.
Thanks, Ger, and thanks for inviting me along tonight. It's going to be a busy night here at the RDS. I'm on the red carpet. I'm going to be speaking to some of the nominees as they come in. But before I do that, I'm going to speak to one of our broadcast team here, Neil McManus. Neil, the suit is looking great. Tell me about it.
This is all really nicely prepared by my wife, thankfully. That's always taken out of my hand. You look lovely, as always. And tonight we're going to get to see so many of the stars of our sport that we're so proud of, and maybe even a few surprises on the hurling front. We'll see what the nomination committee have come up with.
The All-Stars is always a great night. You were here last year. Did you get to bed at a respectable hour?
Absolutely not. It was a late one. This is a celebratory night, and with two Antrim men, one of whom is my own clubmate Paddy Burke, nominated here. If either of the two Antrim lads are lucky enough to pick up a gong, it could be a late one again tonight.
The three nominees for Hurler of the Year: Shane O'Donnell, Dara Fitzgibbon and Kyle Hayes. Who do you think should win and why?
I think it has to be Shane O'Donnell. I think his performances, even over the last 2 or 3 seasons, have been out of this world. He was the star of the championship this year, and with Clare bringing home the bacon for the first time in a while since 2013, I think it would be a fitting tribute to that team.
Brilliant. Well, listen, we're going to find out who's going to be Hurler of the Year a little bit later on. I'm off in the meantime to chat to some players. Back to you, Ger.
Shane O'Donnell, and O'Donnell, given any bit of space, is just sheer utter class. Lovely pick-up, good hands. Yeah. He knew what he was doing. ball is sent in. It's an absolute beauty by a brilliant hurler. Fabulous catch by Darragh Fitzgibbon and a great score at the end of it all. It's his first in this All-Ireland final. Stepping by David Fitzgerald, and away goes Kyle. Kyle going for the score outside the Clare 45-metre line, and that is a fantastic score. He scored 6 times every game so far, and this is his 7th point in the championship.
Goheen Tucker Fad. Now, delighted to say that I'm joined by GAA Director of Communications, Alan Milton. Alan, look, it's All-Stars night, but it's also the 140th anniversary of the founding of the GAA, so a really extra special night tonight.
Yeah, I swear, Jerry, we didn't time it this way, but it's a really special day when you think about it. Was a meetings day of our history committee in the billiards room in Hayes Hotel in Thurles, just to mark the occasion. And when you think from that inauspicious room to what's behind us here tonight, sort of gives you an idea of the journey that the GAA has travelled over 14 decades. And while I don't think too many people here will be caught up on history tonight, it's really worth remembering. And don't forget, we're on the march now towards our 150th, and I'd imagine that will be celebrated in the same way that the GAA's 100th anniversary was, which was huge at the time for the not just the GAA but the country as a whole.
Oh, absolutely. Now, Alan, I believe that you know all the winners tonight, and you're amongst friends here. We won't tell anyone. You can tell us. We won't say a word.
Sworn to secrecy, Jared. We've waited this long. There's a vow of omerta over everybody that's in that room. Really interesting process, I can tell you, though, and really thorough debate. And I have to compliment the journalists who come every year with their research and their homework done. I'm very passionate about making the case. For the first time ever, the steering committee members didn't serve on football or hurling because of the new split season arrangement. Because the games are on top of each other, they felt themselves that they weren't getting to see enough of the games. So they made the call and it was facilitated. So I think most people will be happy with the outcomes. And I know the football one is obviously in the public domain. And who would have thought we'd have 14 first-time winners in football? I can't guarantee you'll get the same in hurling, obviously, but it'll be interesting nonetheless.
And from a communications point of view, what's the week been like?
Pretty hectic, and compliments to the communications team who've been busy pushing out content on social, not just for the All-Stars, but the videos for the 140 are excellent, both in Irish and English, so compliments to them. Really, really busy, and it's an important time of the year for us because we don't have inter-county games. Of course, we've lots of club games, but we don't have inter-county games. This fills a very important void for us. These players behind us tonight, they're our marquee players in both codes. They're the players in the shop window, and they help inspire the kids and the next generation. So really, really important, and very important that we have outputs like this, and also the All-Star show on RT tonight, which is going out live to a big audience. And I think I can say without fear of contradiction, it's probably the most prestigious awards night, not just in the sporting calendar, but arguably one of the most prestigious awards calendars in Irish society.
Brilliant. Well, I hope you enjoyed the night, Alan, and thanks a million for joining us. Well, as we all know, we're here this evening to honour outstanding performances from players throughout the year. The Sam Maguire Team of the Year was announced yesterday. And before we chat about the winners, let's take a recap on another brilliant year. Well, yesterday the Football All-Stars were announced, causing great excitement and debate. Out of the 15 players, only one was a previous All-Star winner. That's goalkeeper Niall Morgan. And Michael, I'll come to you about that. He's really the definition of that modern, all-round goalkeeper, isn't he?
Oh, isn't he? Yeah, he's amazing. You know, he scores from play, he'll kick frees all day, he'll get his restarts off, and he's so comfortable on the ball. We saw so much of him over the last few years when the rules were the way that we know them to be, whatever, and we got a glimpse maybe a few weeks ago.
Yeah, a few weeks ago. Like, do we think I know there were questions that maybe his role could be curtailed, or could it evolve?
It certainly could. I still think with a guy like him, if 3 and 3 are kept back into the one half, you're going to get him forward and try and create the overload. Have him as an extra man with only 11 on 11 in that half of the pitch, and he's going to be even potentially more influential in that situation. Then it's high risk, but high risk, high reward. So yeah, we're going to see a lot if some of those rules come in, especially that one. We're going to see a lot of the new coaches, trying to say what way can we crack this, what way can we work this, and he's the guy who I think he'll know what to do, whether the coach tells him to do it or not.
Oh, definitely be interesting. Well, let's talk about the defenders then. 2 from Armagh, Aidan Forker, Barry McKimbridge. Like, what a season for them, like an All-Ireland and an All-Star.
Oh, yeah, and Aidan tried and tested over a decade now, and Barry newer to the scene, but Barry in the running for that Player of the Year award. They were serious. Especially in the big games. Once he got to Croke Park and it was knockout, those guys stood up, and that's what you can ask. That's all you need from your leaders, and they delivered.
Like Barry, he scored 2-5 in the championship. He held David Clifford and Shane Walsh to a point from play. As before, would you like to have come up against him in your day?
There was a time when you were, if you were marking an attacking cornerback, he was making up for something else. But in this day and age, they're just all rounders, and he epitomised that. And I know there's a good connection back to your. As well with him.
So I was just talking to Barry's 3 uncles and his father down below us here, who would be former Antrim hurlers, all of them. And he has a cousin who is hurling with Antrim at the minute. So Barry would have spent a lot of time in Cushendall, and we'll be taking all the plaudits for his success, whether he is named as Footballer of the Year tonight or not.
Yeah. And
look, as we know, it is a massive occasion for the family, Neil.
It's huge. This is something that is very, very special. If your family are here and your family are getting to be part of this night, your community are also getting to be part of it, and it's such a special, special event for so many different little pockets of Ireland.
Absolutely.
Okay, but now we're going to hear from somebody who you might know, Michael.
Joining me now is Cillian McDade from Galway. Cillian, you're looking absolutely fabulous in your suit. Tell me about tonight. What's the excitement like?
It's good, yeah. It's nice to kind of finish the year gathering with teammates and players from other counties and hurlers and footballers, and just dressing up and having a good night.
How would you reflect on Galway's year?
It was a good year. I think we were very disappointed at the end of 2023 bowing out so early, so we just wanted to rectify that and get back to Croke Park, and we had some great days this summer. Look, it didn't finish the way we wanted it, but it was still a good year.
And for a player like yourself, what's it like to be nominated? Is that a huge thrill?
It is. On a personal level, it's nice to get that little bit of achievement or a recognition at the end of the year. So it's nice to dress up, like I said, and have a good night with teammates and opposition alike.
Will it be a late one tonight?
It might be, I'd say, yeah, it might be. It was a late one before, so it might be again, yeah.
Much deserved, I'm sure. Back to you, Jar.
Welcome back. Well, Michael,
I
know my club man, a great player for Galway. I'm not just saying that, I'm not biased. But let's talk about 2 Galway defenders as well. We've Johnny McGrath and Dylan McHugh, deserving of their All-Stars.
Yeah, very much so. Dylan is around it that little bit longer, but he was playing so well in every match that he was looking like he was on for a Player of the Year kind of levels. And Johnny is a couple of years younger than him, but he's been the go-to guy. If there's someone to be man-marked, league and championship this year, he got that job, and invariably he done really well, and he's very much deserving of his award tonight.
Absolutely, and the future bright for them too.
Yeah, they're both young guys. Yeah, absolutely. I know. I thought Dylan once upon a time, and He had a
Showing your age
fondness-
now,
He had a
Michael.
fondness for the novelty socks, you know, so I'm wondering will he have any on tonight? We'll check it out later.
And look, let's talk about Donegal's Peadar Mogan and Louth's Craig Lennon, like only their second All-Star for Louth. What a brilliant achievement that is.
Unbelievable. And the scores that man took, the goals he scored were just breathtaking throughout the year. He was one of the highest scorers from play in the overall championship. And that's remarkable given that he didn't progress all the way to the last round, i.e. the All-Ireland final. So, same for Peadar as well. Like, he a phenomenal player for Donegal, you know, up and down that pitch, the speed and the scoring, you know, from that attacking half-back line that Donegal had, you know, he was key there in delivering their Ulster title under Jimmy McManus.
Now, any defenders unlucky not to be selected?
I think, yeah, of course there are. You know, it's very subjective. And definitely, I think there'll be several counties who'll be thinking maybe their goalie was in with a shout, genuinely the All-Ireland finalists, even Donegal.
Aaron McKay?
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe Brendan McCall from Donegal had a fine season as well. So there's always going to be, you could give a mention to, I know Liam Silk was excellent as well for Galway. So everyone's going to be kind of finding little holes in it. But that's
And
the
you
beauty
always
of it.
will,
That's the beauty of it. You know, it's going to cause debate up and down the country for a few nights yet.
And look, let's talk about midfield. We've always Paul Conroy and our Maz Ben Creeley. Like, what a pair.
Oh yeah, two giants of the game, really. In fairness, and they commanded that part of the pitch throughout the championship. You know, in the respective provinces initially, and then when it came to Croke Park, the two boys didn't disappoint. And yeah, like it's just an amazing tale for the two of them. You know, in particular for Paul. I started out playing with Paul a long time ago. We'll talk about Oisín Connaughty in a minute.
Yeah.
Oisín probably was about 4 when Paul made his debut in 2003 playing against, or in 2008 it was. But, you know, it's just remarkable, the longevity of the man.
Incredible, especially, you know, in football, because the athleticism required has just went off the charts. But I think everybody is delighted. I couldn't believe it when you told me this was Paul's first All-Star.
Yeah.
So, look, he might pick up Footballer of the Year potentially later on tonight, but an All-Star to really fit and tribute for the career and the contribution he's made to Galway.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, well, we're delighted to say that Donegal's Ryan McHugh is going to come and join us now. We'll talk about it for a second, Michael. What a season we had.
Yeah, another linchpin in that Donegal half-back line.
How are you?
Ryan,
How's it going? How's the form?
Giving out about you here.
All good things, Ryan. Look, how do you look back on that season?
Listen, look back on the year. I think a positive year for Donegal. Difficult after the way it ended, I suppose, but I think on a whole a positive year. You know, after the year before, it was a tough year for Donegal as a whole, not just the team, but the whole county, so it was. So, but I think Jim can give everything such a lift, so it did. And one in Ulster and one in League Two give us a huge platform to build on for going into next year.
And does it motivate you even more for next year, getting to the semi-final?
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's motivated more. Listen, you don't need any motivation, but I think it gives you that more belief. So it does, you know, going into next year, believing that you can compete with the best.
Yeah, and what about tonight? How special is a night like this?
Yeah, listen, it's an unbelievable night. Fortunately, I've been extremely fortunate as a footballer to be up here at a few awards ceremonies I have. So it's an unbelievable night. I know my mother, it's one of her favourite nights of the year. So every chance she gets to come up, so it is, she takes it. So it is. No, thankfully, myself and Bridget are up tonight. So looking forward to it. Thankfully, the two boys, Oisín and Peadar, won award. So it's a great night for Donegal, and we're going to enjoy every minute.
Absolutely. And let's just talk about the new rules, Ron. What do they, if they do come in, what do they mean to a player like you? Would you be excited about it?
Yeah, listen, and for the new rules, personally, in my own opinion, I like them. So don't get me wrong, I do. But I just think the one wee problem, I don't think they addressed the biggest problem in terms of the keeper coming up. I think that still is going to make a possession-based game, so it is. So I like the 3 up, and I like a lot of them, but I don't like the keeper being allowed to come up. I just think it creates that extra man, and it creates a possession-based game, which I think is the problem at the minute. But I like the rest of them. That's the only one I don't like at the minute.
Well, look, I hope you have a brilliant night tonight, and even more so, I hope your mother has a great night.
She will have a great night.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Enjoy. Thanks a million. Enjoy. See you later.
Have a great night. Well, look at Michael. Let's get back and talk forwards now. In Armagh, they dominated again. Reno O'Neill, Conor Turbot and Oisín Connaughty. What kind of impact did they have this year? Such a big one.
Yeah, look, they delivered again in the big moments. Oisín Connaughty had the All-Ireland final of his life, you know, and massive impact on that game, you know, at key moments. And Turbo, like, is some man to get a score. I was checking back. I think he scored a quarter of all Armagh scores the season gone by. Like, so that'll tell you. And Reen stood up when Reen needed to stand up, and they had that. They had a panel, but they had those key players at key moments. They knew when to deliver for their team, and they're very well deserving of their awards again tonight.
Absolutely. And as a former Galway forward, how impressed were you with Rob Finnerty and of course Johnny Maura?
Yeah, they did brilliant. 2 Salthill on the Cara men, the first All-Stars for that club, so they'll be very happy down in Salthill tonight. And John Maher had a super season, all the way through the league. He was ever present. He was in that engine room, midfield, half forward line the whole way through. And Rob, has really settled into that corner forward role now. He's a scorer. He's a scorer in chief. He's a man you give a half a yard to, and he's going to get a shot away. The only if we would have loved to have seen him for longer than whatever it was, 8 or 9 minutes is all he lasted in that All-Ireland final, which was unfortunate, because I'm sure he would have had an impact on that match. But he's getting some consolation tonight. Well,
we were speaking about Armagh earlier, and now delighted to say joining us is All-Ireland winning captain Aidan Forker. Aidan, thank you so much for joining us. Look, has it sunk in yet at all, the last while, winning that All-Ireland?
Yeah, there's a lot to take in, I suppose. It's been a whirlwind couple of months, but all good, all positive, thank God. So, it's been amazing, something you've worked your whole adult life for, really, and a culmination of a lot of hard work on the part of all of us, I suppose. So, it's been it's been a special journey, but 2024 obviously, and the likes of tonight is just the icing on the cake, really.
Can you describe the feeling when you've won it? What's going through your head? What are you thinking?
It was just joy, it was just sheer joy on the part of everyone involved, and being able to share that, knowing that, boys who you've soldiered with for so long, and being able to share, because only they know what you've given and the time you've put in, and to be able to share it with your family and friends and everyone there. And Armagh people are so passionate about following us, so it was just a cauldron of joy on the part of everyone. We were just the lucky ones to be able to walk up the steps and so on and so on. So just great. Everyone still, anywhere you go, just a handshake or a congratulations. I was in Newry today grabbing a coffee, and somebody came over to me, and we're just on a high still. So that's great. It's great to feed off that. So hopefully.
And what's a night like tonight like for you?
It's lovely to spend it with as here last year on my own. And I said to my wife, it's a lovely night to be part of, but wouldn't it be great to have all your teammates around you, which there's 11 of us here tonight, but what the most special thing tonight is that we're here as All-Ireland champions, to be honest.
Now, Michael, have you forgiven him yet for doing us in Galway?
Oh, stop. Yeah, well, as you said, it's the icing on the cake, really, being here with family and friends and probably club mates, and the 11 Armagh lads, so deserving. If I take you back, just when you reflect back now on maybe the week into the All-Ireland and the final, and I'd love to know, did it go to plan? Did it happen the way you expected it, or how does it match up to what you felt in those days coming up, and let's say getting in around Croke Park on the morning of the match? Where were you at there versus?
Yeah, it's the old cliche of being very process driven. We were going after a performance. We felt like if we performed well, we could win, and that's what we were going after, really. And we were very deliberate about how we spent our time and where we went to, and trying to spend as much time together as possible. Just to stay in your bubble, really, and it was about enjoying the occasion, and it's great to be part of. We've been going to All Irelands for many years, with envy of not being part of it. So there are wee moments where you're like, Rory and I would travel to All Ireland a lot, Rory Grugan, and I just nudged him a few times and said, look, this is what we've been working for, let's go and enjoy it, but the best way to enjoy it is to win, and that's what we were going after. So there was very little hiccups, to be fair, and that's a testament to all the people in the background really having a handle on making sure that everyone's in the right frame of mind, and logistically everything working out really well, and the county board and everyone involved. You know, anything we ever asked for or wanted for, we got, because we knew the opportunity that was there. So no, it was pretty good, pretty optimal, thank God.
Well, Aidan.
Ger lets me jump in there.
Yeah.
Was there a stage in that you were thinking during the year, because Armagh were going so well, and also you've been going so well for the previous 2 seasons leading into it as well, Jarlath had become president, and you're thinking there's a good chance there'll be an Armagh man here and I have a chance to receive that trophy from him?
To be honest with you, like the whole, you know yourself in sport, like it's not a very romantic story. Like it never goes to plan. It's not a happy ending all the time, because that's sport. Like you're only really guaranteed injuries and disappointments for the most part. But on the good year, on the off chance, you can get a bit of luck and you can enjoy it. Look, obviously the stars aligned with Jarlath being there, but no, it wasn't really in our narrative around that meant to be and stuff like that, because the year before I felt like we're in a really good place and things were clicking, and yes, we were beaten on another penalty shootout in Ulster, but we knew how close we were. So it was really about going after your performance and going after and keeping everybody injury free. Like we had a full bill of health this year, which is very, very rare in a group, and we knew we were in a good place that way.
Brilliant. Aidan, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you and your teammates have a fantastic night.
Thanks a million. Thank you.
Brilliant. Now let's head back down to Maura.
Joining me now is Louth's Sam Mulroy. Sam, you must be pretty happy with your final score tally at the end of this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
So
close to the top. So yeah, no, it was good year in that regard. Obviously, would have liked to progress a little bit further in the championship, but yeah, in terms of scoring, we've done all right.
A lot of people were surprised about how well or how close Louth ran Dublin. Were you surprised by that? I don't think the team was, were they?
No, I don't think the team were. I think, look, we were progressing nicely. We were kind of gathering momentum towards the end of the league and into the championship. And look, we've obviously played the Dubs numerous times over the last number of years. So it's just trying to close the gap. Obviously, they gave us a bit of a hammering the year before, so it was just again trying to right those wrongs. And yeah, look, I think we put in a good performance against them. So yeah, look, maybe caught some people by surprise, but definitely not the team. No.
4 nominees for the Wee County tonight. What do you think is special about this team this year?
Yeah, it's incredible to have 4 nominations and obviously a winner in Craig, which is absolutely spectacular, and we're all absolutely buzzing for him, and it's unbelievable to have a Louth player on the team, second ever and only first time since 2010. So yeah, the team's building and growing, and everyone's doing massive work to improve.
Excited for 2025?
Yeah, buzzing for it, yeah.
But enjoy tonight first.
Absolutely.
Great stuff.
Thank you very much.
Sam.
Cheers.
Back to you, Ger.
Garamila Mahigat. Now, Michael Sam Mulroy, unlucky to be left out, but quite a few big names left out, particularly in the forwards as well. But like this year, no Dubs, no Kerryman for the first time since 2003.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The big names, but big counties left out, and they all had, they were in with a shout at different stages. I think Paddy Clifford and Tom O'Sullivan, like Conor Callahan, and he's still doing it with his club, Coola, we saw a couple of weeks ago. But there's a lot of lads like that around the place. That people will debate, at home and say maybe they deserved it. Ryan O'Donoghue kicked massive scores as well for Mayo this year as well. So there's always going to be lads. I'm a little bit disappointed, but it's very hard to get it right. What I would say is now that we've so many games with the groups, there is a good chance you get to see a lot of football, and the guys making the calls, they get a lot of evidence, so you'll be hoping that they get it as close to right as possible, but it's not a science,
No.
So there's room for error.
Absolutely. While the Team of the Year was announced yesterday, we still do not know who will be picking up the Footballer of the Year award. Let's remind ourselves of the nominees.
Barry McCambridge, he's in. Terrific finish and a great goal from Barry McCambridge from Clonera in Lurgan. Well, he threatened to score his first ever championship goal earlier in the half. He's just gone and done it in style.
Johnny McGrath
Paul Conroy going for a hat-trick of spectacular points. 2 brilliant ones in the first half, and there's one right at the start of the second.
The ball squirts out to the right-hand side. It's Johnny Maura now, put the brakes on wonderfully well to just find himself in a wee pocket of space for which he could shoot and put that one over the bar.
What memories? Okay, Michael, who's going to win it and why?
Right. Well, I think Barry and Paul. It's going to be between the two, and it usually will favour the All-Ireland champion. So that's probably Barry, but I feel it might just go Paul's way. I think pound for pound over a decade and a half and more.
And let's not forget that double leg
exactly.
break in 2018.
In 2018, he came back from that And to be honest, if the 2-point line comes in next year, he's going to double his scoring because every point Paul kicks is outside that arc, So he's just a phenomenal player. Whether he wins it or not, he's one of the best ever for Galway.
What about you, Neil? Would you go along with that, or?
It would be the fairy tale to see Paul Conroy, left in that Player of the Year gong after the service he has given. But I think it will be Barry McCambridge. I think you're right, Michael. He's been involved in so many of Armagh's big moments this year. And I think if Kieran McGuinney was picking his favourite Player of the Year, he'd go for Barry McCambridge because he epitomises everything that's good about how Armagh play. He's tight in man-marking capacity, but whenever he goes forward, he can hurt you. And look, obviously there's a cushioned all bias there, no two ways about it, so I'd love to see it for the McCambridge family.
Absolutely, and look, talking about big names in Armagh, big players, we've got one here. Conor Turbett, delighted you could join us.
Well done,
of course,
Conor.
Armagh forward.
Hey Conor, pleased to meet you.
Conor, have you come off cloud 9 yet?
Probably not, no, probably not. We're in with the club at the minute, so we just won a senior championship there.
Right.
So, it's been cloud 9. It feels like all year it's been cloud 9. But to answer your question, no, probably not.
And what's it like to be an All-Ireland winner?
What's it mean? I don't know. I think it's something you're going to look back on and you'll understand what it means whenever you're going to matches and you're seeing boys who you've won All-Ireland with. I think then you'll find out what it means. At the minute, it's just, as you say, cloud 9. I don't think we're ever really going to take it in.
And what's it like to be an All-Star?
Yeah, it's special. It's special. In years gone by, I probably would have looked at this event and, wondered was ever going to get a nomination, never mind getting All-Star. And, it's a special event and a special award.
So how did you find out?
How did I find out? My dad came in at about 6:30 in the morning to tell me, and I said...
He was probably up all night, was he?
He was more excited than I was. 6:30, Dad, get out, would you? But no, it's special for everybody, special for the family, the club, Armagh, everybody.
And you said it there, Conor, it is really special for your club. It's where you started. Yeah. They must be so proud.
Yeah, our club, as I said, they just won a senior championship. Our ladies, they're in an Ulster championship. They won the championship as well, and now they have 3 players playing in an All-Ireland final with 5 in the squad. So the club's having an amazing year.
Now, important question, have you your dancing shoes with you tonight?
I always have my dancing shoes.
That's why they call you Turbo.
Very good.
That's brilliant. Conor, thank you so much for joining us and enjoy tonight. Well, now we move our attention to hurling. Before we delve into who we think might make the Team of the Year, let's have a look back on the 2024 Lee McCarthy competition. What a season. Okay, well, let's get down to the good stuff. Unlike the footballers, we don't know who's been selected for the hurling team. So, Neil, your job is a little bit tougher than Michael's, you'll be glad to know. Let's start with the goalkeepers. It's a tough one to start on. Who gets your nod there?
Yeah, it's so tough. I think the 4 semi-finalists all had a goalkeeper worthy of winning the All-Star award. Owen Murphy doesn't get nominated, even though he made probably the save of the year in that semi-final. But I think it'll be Patrick Collins. I think he'll just edge out Iver Quilligan. And like Nicky Quaid has changed goalkeeping. I don't think he'll be successful tonight, but he had another outstanding season. But Patrick Collins was such a big part of what made Cork a force this year. The give and go for the long puck out that actually allowed them to bypass that Limerick half back line. I think it'll just edge it for Patrick.
Okay, so let's move on to the defenders then. Claire, they have 6 nominations. Who's nailed on for you?
Yeah, I think the Downey brothers are actually the 2 nailed on lads in full back and centre back. Yeah. I think they've just been picked as the Cork captain and vice captain for the incoming season as well. Adam Hogan is a cert at right corner back, and I think he'll be joined by Conor Lean, the left corner back, also from Clare. But the half back line is so tough to pick. I think we'll definitely have Kyle Hayes in left half back. Maybe just about John Conlon at centre back. But it's so tough to call. There are so many worthy players nominated. But I think David McInerney will get that final spot at right wing back. Look, I could not argue against any of them. And obviously having my own clubmate Paddy Burke nominated is massive for our county, although he inevitably won't be on the team at the end of the night.
Well, Neil, we'll come back to you in a second, but we're back down to Maura on the red carpet.
Joining me now is Dublin half-back Chris Crummy. Chris, real honour to be nominated tonight, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great event, great occasion, and it's a massive honour to be nominated for myself, club, family, and yeah, it's just great to get dolled up and get to know lads from other counties, and especially for girlfriends as well and partners who have obviously
supported
and sacrificed a lot throughout the year. So it's great to have a great night out and celebrate the year.
Do you have a highlight looking back on the 2024 season?
I suppose from a Dublin perspective, I'd say a highlight would have been probably the match against Galway in Salt Hill. I don't think we had won in Galway for 60 or 70 years, and yeah, there was obviously a lot riding on the line that day. So to get to a Leinster final was great. Obviously, we would have liked to perform better on the day, but that was probably a great moment in the year for us.
Tell me, when you're a young lad pucking balls against a wall, do you dream of nights like this where you hear your name nominated?
You're probably not. Honestly, you're probably not thinking about nights like tonight. You're more thinking about the moments of scoring the goal or points or whatever in Croke Park. But to be honest, this is great just to come here tonight, and yeah, it's probably something you're not thinking about. But as a result, it's great to be here.
And tell me, who was the toughest opponent you marked this year, would you say?
Toughest opponent. I marked a lot of brilliant hurlers. Lee Chin, I marked him in the Wexford game, and yeah, he's obviously a phenomenal player. Would have marked him a lot down through the years. And
nice things to say about you as well.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but no, he's a phenomenal athlete, and yeah, brilliant hurler.
And are you looking forward to the 2025 season?
Yeah, I am, absolutely. Yeah, it's funny, club's not long over, and straight away the attention turns to the inter-county season. But yeah, we have a new management team this year, a lot of exciting young talent in Dublin as well. So yeah, it should be a great year, and hopefully we can go further than we went this year.
Well, listen, best of luck tonight. Back to you, Jar.
Garamila Mahaga, they're having a great time down there. Well, Neil, I just want to go back and talk about Paddy Burke from Antrim, your county man. He's nominated, obviously James O'Naughton up front, deserving nominations. How important are they for Ulster?
It's huge for Ulster hurling that those 2 lads are nominated, but it's also very special for their 2 clubs. James, the Lochgill Shamrocks man, and Paddy Burke, my own club in Cushendall. Look, their families are so rightly very proud of those 2 gentlemen. They espouse everything that's good about Antrim GAA, They're two fantastic players. I actually think Paddy's nomination is a little bit overdue with the past 3 seasons that he's had. And then this year, we've seen the best of James on a consistent basis. And he can be a real match winner on his day. And he proved just that against Wexford, which gave Antrim a really famous win in Corrigan Park this year. So delighted for the two lads.
Absolutely. What a special night for their family tonight.
Absolutely. I can just imagine, James's father, Seamus, and Paddy's mother, Claire, will be two of the happiest people in Ireland tonight. So they will. And, that's really what tonight's all about.
Absolutely, yeah.
I read a great article during the week with James Horn. He's won 2 All-Stars, but he said he's never seen them because his mother keeps them in her front sitting room and they're not allowed to leave the room. Like, that's how important it is to people, Michael, isn't it, these All-Stars?
Yeah, it is. It goes on the mantelpiece when it gets home, and that's right at the heart of the family home. Yeah. For the moms and the dads and the siblings and the neighbours and the club, like we said. So, yeah, it's that kind of night. It really is. So it's a special night tonight.
And before we leave the defenders, Neil, obviously outside of Clare, who else do you see getting selected? You mentioned Kyle Hayes.
Yeah, I think Kyle is really a certainty in at wing back. It's a toss of a coin between Rob Downey and John Conlon for that number 6 position. Maybe with Clare winning the All-Ireland, he might just get it, but Rob would be a really deserving winner. And, I'm pretty sure Owen will get fullback, his younger brother. It'd be lovely to see a brother combo at 3 and 6. I don't know if that's ever been done before. And then, look, it is so tight, and anybody could get them. But I think Clare will get 4 of those 6 back spots, actually.
Yeah, OK. Well, let's move to midfield. Some brilliant players nominated, but obviously Darragh Fitzgibbon, he's nominated for Hurler of the Year. So is it safe to say he's going to get selected?
Yeah. Darragh Fitzgibbon, would have been, like, his performance this year have been outstanding, and only Shane O'Donnell has had one of the years from the heavens. Darragh Fitz would have been that player getting the Hurler of the Year, but I think this is actually the position that gives Leinster the best chance of getting an All-Star in Cian Kenny, who had an outstanding year with Kilkenny. He's really found a home there at number 8, and if he doesn't get an award tonight, I think it'll be the first time that I remember an All-Star team being picked out of Holy Munster and with no Leinster representation. So, look, we'll see how that goes. But Tony Kelly obviously had the All-Ireland final of dreams.
Does he get the other spot then?
I don't think so, because that's what the Man of the Match award is for in the All-Ireland final. And like, Tony obviously had a nightmare year in terms of injury. But cometh the hour, cometh the man. That performance in the All-Ireland final will stand the test of time. And you were just talking about it, Michael, just before we come in.
If they were giving out 2 Man of the Match awards, he did enough to get the 2 of them. The scores. We thought the goal unbelievable, and then he follows up with his point. There was a special point as well. It was just when they needed him, he delivered. And it's just reward from, like, he has been outstanding for a long number of years now. So a little bit like Paul Conroy, he's got his medal. He's got it. I'd say he'll be hoping he's done enough to get the All-Star tonight, but it's a very close call, that one.
And so, would you go along with Neil, or do you think he's going to get it?
Oh, I'd say he'll get it. Yeah, I think he will. You can't change your mind.
I don't think I'm going to change my mind. I think we will have definitely Darragh Fitz, but I think he'll be joined by Cian Kenny. I was in Kilkenny last night for Richie Hogan's book launch, and they were hanging their hopes on him being their representative this year.
Yeah.
OK, well, we'll leave that debate for now. We're going to go back to the red carpet to Maura.
Joining me now is Wexford's Lee Chin. Lee, this is your 7th nomination tonight. Do you still get the same buzz getting nominated?
Of course, you absolutely do. Look, it's always nice at the end of the year to be invited to a ceremony like this. Real prestigious night, and look, it's a real proud moment for me every time I'm lucky enough to get nominated, and I suppose it's a nice recognition for the year of some nice performances.
Watching this year's All-Ireland hurling final, people say it was one of the best ever. What was it like being a spectator on an occasion like that?
Yeah, it was a fantastic occasion. I suppose the spectacle that was on display on the day, and I suppose we got the extra time as well that added to it. A lot of drama, 2 great teams provided a phenomenal game and a lot of entertainment for any spectator that was watching across the world. And I was up there myself on the day. I really enjoyed it. I think my first All-Ireland final I ever went to was the Cork and Clare All-Ireland final in 2013, and that one went to a replay, and I was at the two games, and I just remember the colour, I suppose, on the day, the yellow and red, and I suppose on the day of this year's All-Ireland, it brought me back to that memory as well, and like I said, we got an extra treat with extra time as well. It was such a good game, and it was really enjoyable.
Watching new players come on board every year, are there players tonight that you're looking forward to marking next year?
Absolutely not, no. Not at all, no. Look, I don't know how many years I've been around now, but I mean, it's just an honour to, I suppose, come here and mingle with them, come here and get to know some players. You'll get to know some players in a lot more detail on a night like tonight than you would at any other meeting during the year. I suppose you don't get the opportunity to meet each other during the year. It's the one time you do, unless you're on maybe an All-Star trip or you're involved in, I suppose, different games throughout the year, like maybe Hurling for Cancer, which the likes of Jim Bulger and Davy Russell have every year, which is a great cause. Those kind of days and the moments and the occasions you get to meet other inter-county hurlers and maybe have the odd drink with them and just chat. It's really special. It's again, this provides that, so it's a really special night. Yeah.
Enjoy your night. Back to you, Jar.
Great stuff, Maura. Well, Neil, let's move to the forwards. A tough one. I feel like I'm saying this about every position. 18 brilliant nominations, including Hurler of the Year nomination, Shane O'Donnell. But let's start with Cork. 4 nominations for them. Who's going to get selected for them?
Cork, look, one of the all-time greatest players, and Patrick Horgan is one of Cork's nominations. And unfortunately for Patrick, I don't think he'll get one here tonight. He already has 4, I think, maybe 5. But I don't think he'll get through just tonight. I think Shane Barrett is in with a mighty chance. Yeah. Seamus Harnedy, huge chance. Brian Hayes, also, and they're the 3 that I think have the best chance of the Cork lads. And obviously, you still have Aaron Gallan nominated from Limerick as well in that full forward line. So, look, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how it unfolds. But for me, Shane Barrett, Seamus Harnedy, they added so much to the championship. That hard running, ball winning from the Cork half forward line that helped them over that semi-final hurdle that they faced in Limerick. And obviously Declan Dalton at number 10 played a part for them too, but those were the 2 for me. And Seamus Harnedy, I love him as a player, hard working. He takes scores from ridiculous places, and he's the spiritual leader of that Cork team, so I hope he's in the team tonight.
But Neil, is it hard to ignore Patrick Horgan? Like, he's the all-time leading championship scorer with 716.
He's an incredible person as well, and like if you ask any Cork fan who their favourite hurler is, if it's not Christy Ring, it's going to be Patrick Horgan. But time will tell, but I just think on the balance of play, although Patrick took some frees that really kept him in the All-Ireland final, that actually drive it into extra time, he stood up when he was needed. I don't think he'll be on that 15 tonight.
What do you think, Michael?
I suppose it's
a tough one.
It's where the sentiments come into all of this, and we've touched on it earlier across the football players as well with the awards that are still to be decided there tonight. So, what he's done has just been phenomenal in hurling. The all-time leading scorer. I know it's been a ding-dong battle, but it's remarkable, his contribution to the game. So I'm not going to call it anyway, but I think if he gets it, he'll deserve it, and if he doesn't, people will be disappointed for him. But he has them from before, so I think he'll move on.
Okay, let's talk about the Clare forwards. It's a tough one. Who are you leaving out, Neil?
Yeah, that's probably the better question. I think we'll definitely see David Fitz. He was the highest scorer from play in the overall championship. His marauding runs were incredible. He's so athletic, 6.5 feet tall.
Giant of a man.
He covers the ground with such ease, like a galloping horse. And obviously Shane O'Donnell will absolutely be in at number 14. Any of the rest could almost join. But look, Peter Duggan, I thought he was kind of the unsung hero of that Clare forward line this year. He dropped very deep. He almost mimicked the way the Limerick half forward line in particular that Tom Morrissey would play, who is also nominated here tonight. But I think Gerard Hegarty probably has the best chance of all the Limerick forwards to join mainly a Clare and Cork forward line.
Well, we'll come back to it, but we're going to hear from another player, and it's down to Maura on the red carpet.
Joining me now is Clare's Tony Kelly. Tony, that goal you scored in the All-Ireland, I've heard it described so many different ways with different adjectives. including wizardry. What was going through your head going up to that, you know, putting the ball in or the slitter in the back of the net?
Yeah, not much to be honest. Yeah, just got the ball and as I've said before, just kind of play it as you see it. And I suppose initially I thought to take my point, but as it opened up then, just that I go and have a crack off it. And yeah, look, just delighted it hit the net in the end.
I heard somebody saying that, you know, under your manager Brian Lohan, that you have a lot of autonomy as a player. Do you feel that you can go out and do those, take those risks, take those chances?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, the Brian and the management, they set out a game plan, but within that game plan, then they give a lot of responsibility to players to, you know, make calls at the pitch, because you can't be waiting for I suppose a signal from the sideline or look from the sideline. So within our game plan, within our structure, we're allowed to express ourselves and you know, try different things. And yeah, look, I suppose that's what every hurler wants. They want to be able to go onto the field and express themselves the best way they can. But as I said, it's within a structured environment as well. But yeah, hurling lends itself to, I suppose, expressing yourself that bit more.
I've heard it said that in Clare, hurling is a religion. Does that ever put pressure on you, that, you know, the fact that the Clare fans are so fanatical about hurling?
No, not really. You know, it's probably something you kind of grow up with. I suppose we grew up with the team in the 90s winning so many Munster Championships and a couple of All-Irelands as well to go with it. And I suppose if that inspires you that bit further to go on yourself and I suppose play for Clare and achieve things with Clare and win things with Clare. And yeah, we're just lucky enough that we cashed in this year and won an All-Ireland. And yeah, you know, it's just a monumentous, I suppose, achievement for the county.
Obviously, amazing season for Clare. Any personal highlights looking back on it?
Well, I suppose the biggest kind of personal highlight was the All-Ireland itself. You know, the feeling of winning that game afterwards, and I suppose celebrating it in Croke Park, and I suppose the week that followed is something that you'll cherish for the rest of your life.
And you're going to celebrate tonight, hopefully?
Yeah, there's a good crew of us up here. There's 14 of us up here and a good crew from Clare. So yeah, we'll have a good night, and yeah, it should be good.
I'll let you go and enjoy your night. Thanks so much for talking to me. Back to you, Jar.
Thanks, Maura. Well, I'm delighted to say that we're now joined by Brian Hayes and Kieran Joyce from Cork. Well, lads, I know you were dying to get up here, but unfortunately we don't have too much time. I know you might be very disappointed to hear that. Well, look, I don't know, this is a tough question. I don't know who wants to answer this first, but have you watched the final back?
Yeah, I watched it a few times, I suppose. I'd say most lads would have watched it a few times at this stage, I suppose. It's good to watch it back and see it, like, you know, obviously it's disappointing and everything, but you know, hopefully learn from it or whatever. But it's such a good occasion and such a long game that it's, you know, you'll be sicking for a while watching it back. But it's good to watch it back, yeah, in the end.
I suppose, does the disappointment motivate you even more for next year?
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's a huge learning curve for us as a team. We're a young team. A lot of us are kind of under 20 from the last couple of years, so we definitely learnt a lot. Even playing in Croke Park, it was myself and Brian Hayes' first time playing in Croke Park, so we learnt an awful lot this year, and hopefully we'll bring it on to next year.
But look, it's all about the excitement tonight. And who's going to win the award, lads? Which one of you? Both of you?
Hopefully this man next to me will anyway. I'd say maybe, like, we don't know, but maybe there's 4 or 5 in for a shout anyway, so it's hard to know.
And look, how special a night is it for your friends and your family?
Yeah, look, it's brilliant. Even we were saying it there, walking in, the two of us walked in together, and we spoke downstairs, and we were saying, you know, how special it is to be joined by, you know, all the fellow players there from past and present. And yeah, look, it's brilliant. You know, great for our mum and dads to come up here and everyone to be watching at home and stuff. Yeah, look, brilliant. Hopefully the first of many, please God.
And what's the plan for the night? Who's the party planner?
Probably Seamus Arnott. He'd be a good man for a party, so yeah, the plan is probably stay here till 12:30, I suppose, and we'll see where the night takes us then.
He's well used to it.
Just reflecting on the year, lads, especially the final, like, you were involved in some unbelievable games, like the heart that your Cork team showed this year, even to get out of Munster. That famous victory over Limerick down in the park was massive. Is there any consolation in the fact that you probably made the best game that we've ever seen, or the best All-Ireland final that we've ever seen, even though you did lose out in extra time?
No, I suppose there wouldn't be any consolation. The way hurling's gone now, I suppose most games are spectacles and they're unbelievable games. Like for us as players, we wouldn't really look into, you know, it being a an unbelievable game or one of the best games of all time. But yeah, like every time we went out, we just went out to play our own game really and hope for the best. But yeah, I suppose the Clare game obviously was a fantastic game, and you know there's many All-Irelands before that have been fantastic. But yeah, it would be one to look back on in the future. But hopefully we'll get one over him next year maybe.
Brian, Kieran, thank you both so much for joining us, and I hope you have a fantastic night tonight.
Yeah, thanks
very much.
Cheers.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Wish you all the best. Good luck.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Very best luck.
Look at Neil.
Yeah, all the best.
Thanks a million, guys. Neil, the lads talked about it there, but like losing that final, like it was incredible. A game for the ages. I feel we say that a lot sometimes about hurling, but this really was, and to lose it in that manner, it's a tough one, isn't it?
Heartbreaking. And the decision in your head is thinking, was it right that they had to play extra time after 76 minutes of the most enthralling hurling that we'd seen all year? There's probably a debate out on that.
Of course, yeah.
But look, those lads should be so proud of their performances. Everybody in Cork so proud of them. They had to fight very hard to get out of Munster. They won a really tough semi-final, and everything that they were involved in this year was something to be proud of, and that final is no exception to that.
Look, let's go back to our forwards, Chad. Who gets the remaining spots tonight?
Yeah, I think Brian will get in here, the man who's just on my left-hand side at corner forward. He scored really important goals in the All-Ireland stages whenever it was really on the line for Cork. He became a really go-to player. A lot of long ball was directed in on top of him, and that gave Cork a little bit of an out ball that they haven't had in previous years. You've seen him standing here. He's a man mountain, but his hurling has improved so much over the past sort of year and a half, 2 years. So I think he'll get in there. Look, no doubt that Shane O'Donnell's going to be our
I was just going to say that in a word. Who's going to win Hurler of the Year?
Yeah, for me it's Shane O'Donnell, fully deserving. He plays with the heart of a lion, and he has the dancing feet to match. So look, I think we'll all be standing in appreciation of one of the best in the country tonight in the form of Shane O'Donnell.
Brilliant. Neil, Michael,
Here.
thank you so much for your time tonight. Have a great night. I know he has the dancing shoes on. I'm sure you have them too, or the disco pants.
Have them packed.
I knew it.
Break them out.
I have mine on too. Well, that just about wraps up things for us here at the GAANOW All-Star Special. We hope we have you warmed up for the main show, which kicks off on RTÉ1 at 7:30. My thanks again to Neil and Michael for joining us. Enjoy the show. Gura mila mila magat, and thanks for watching.